Hey there, so in this video, we're gonna show you how to create a bot and set up the initial settings. So if you're in your app.closebot.ai account, the dashboard, you're gonna go to your bot. Now, if you only have a test account, you only have access to one bot. However, if you have a either super user account or the 3-bot plan, you can go to the one bot that you're on and you can create a new one just by clicking this plus sign. And this will be new from template. So there's a real estate template, fitness, mortgage, ERC, coaching, solar, cleaning. You can click that and create a template from any of these, which by the way, if you're not in any one of these industries, that's okay. You can click one of those and you can just delete the information in there. Also, if you want to make a clone of what you're currently doing and just add to it or adapt it for a different client, you can click the duplicate button. So in this instance, I'm going to click on just real estate. It's creating me a new bot right now. So give it a moment and this is going to populate here. So it says it's a copy, it's a template of real estate. So first off, labeling. We want to label our bot something that we can easily reference or find this bot if it's for a client or if it's a certain bot for our business. That way, if you or your team are going through this, you can go through the list and you can search it by name or find it very easily. So for instance, this will be our demo CloseBot bot. And then the bot name. You can name this whatever you want. You can give it a human name. I've seen people name it the company bot name, like plus bot. There's all kinds of different things that you can do to be fun. But for our instance, I'm just going to call it Chloe. I really like Chloe. We use that for a lot of ours. And then response delay in seconds. Now, by default, this is set to 0, which means it's as fast as it could possibly be as far as generating a response. Now, what I've found is when you're using this with web chat or text message and clients are interacting with it, if the message comes too fast, it doesn't necessarily give that human perception. Now, we're not trying to make people think that the bot is a human. We're just not wanting them to jump to the conclusion that they're not talking to a real person and discredit the conversation that they're having with your AI assistant or your CloseBot. So I like 15 to 20 seconds. So I typically will start at 15 seconds and then I'll go up to 20 if I feel like it's still coming through too fast. Now your bot usage, this is right here. You can click and limit this. So if we're building a test bot for whether it's one of our team members to play with and use or a client to play with and use, you can literally set a limit for 30 days of 500 messages. So they can play with it up to 500 messages or whatever that is. I personally don't limit my bots. We're typically doing a demo in person and then turning off a bot so we don't have to worry about them playing with it unless they purchase the bot. But again, I set it up with no limit. And then in settings here, I usually turn these settings off. Now you can do whatever you'd like with these. Again, the stop for upset lead. This is gonna stop the AI automatically if aggression is detected. So, foul language or, just things that are being said that the AI deems aggressive, it's going to automatically turn the bot off. Now, I do find that, depending on the industry you're in, sometimes, if you're reaching out to cold prospects or you reached out to somebody from somebody that opted in from an ad, sometimes like, who the hell is this? And that's just their personality type. So I find that, when this is enabled, I didn't like for my clients that, it would get upset and turn the bot off. So I left that unchecked. Pretty much all my clients, I think actually all my clients, I leave this unchecked because I don't necessarily care if, they just detect aggression. But if you want it to stop on an upset lead, you can click this button and it'll stop on an upset lead or if it detects aggression. Now, this one, stop when all objectives are done. Typically, I would enable this one because what we're using our AI assistants and our CloseBots for is we want to make sure that we're qualifying the leads for our clients. So for instance, we work with a lot of doctors and a lot of them are doing weight loss or body contouring and they want to make sure that they're talking to a qualified person. Now, what is a qualified person in that world? Well, we want to make sure that, they have pounds to lose. They're not just doing this because they're going on vacation or want to go to the beach this Friday. We want people that are maybe interested in buying packages. So we want to know that they have a problem that we can help solve. So for instance, again, with our industry, we want to know what their trouble areas are. Are they trying to target their stomach? Are they trying to target their thighs? We also want to know, what they've tried before. And so our objectives are all based on that, of course, along with collecting name, email, and phone number if we don't already have that information. But as soon as all that information is collected, we are sending them a link to book them on the calendar. And then that last objective of them booking on the calendar happens, then it turns off the bot because the bot's job is done. Now, there are more complex situations where you wouldn't want to turn off the bot or you could have it answer questions, after those objectives are achieved. But what I like doing is when all objectives are done, once that completes and we've achieved all those objectives, we can have it then add a tag that triggers an automation. So for instance, when all our objectives are done in our agency for our doctors and we got that lead profile built out, they book an appointment, but then it also shoots an email with all the information saying, hey, this person, they've tried, diet and exercise, it didn't work for them, they want to target their stomach, and yes, they're ready to get started, it'll send all that information in kind of like a snapshot or summary of what that conversation was, as well as that appointment time, so they have that easily available for them. So I usually leave that one on. You can play with that one and turn it off. GPT Turbo New or Preview. I typically turn mine on the new, but again, if you play with it, you don't like the responses, a simple fix is just, click and change to the other one. You might get slightly different variations. Now, at the time of shooting this video, we only have GPT-4 Turbo New and then the preview in here. However, there are in the works some different fallback options and different default models that you'll be able to use in the future. So, if we start using Anthropic or Claude, you will see those in there. But at the time of this, these are the only two options in there, and you typically don't have to mess with those. Frequency AI typos. Personally, I don't like AI typos, but I do know people that, if you're going to do it, I wouldn't start any greater than 10. 10% of the time is very human-like and maybe even a little bit excessive depending on your industry. So again, you want it to come off human, but you also don't want it to come off like, oh my gosh, they're typing so fast, they're misspelling everything. So start with 10, see what your responses are like, and then gradually decrease if you don't like how frequently it's doing typos. Again, if I ever use this, it's at a 1, so it's extremely, extremely rare. And then frequency breakup larger messages typically means, typically I'm going to put this at 50. So, sometimes it will break up large messages, sometimes it won't. So that way you got a little bit of a mix. I just like the balance right there at 50. Again, you can play with this and tweak it to your likings there. And then words not allowed in responses. Now this is very industry specific. Again, the example I'll use is we have a client in the high ticket coaching realm. They do a lot of webinars. They have a bot that's interacting with people, afterwards. And when they talk about their payments, it's either a one-time payment of $3,000 or they'll say 4 installments of $797 or whatever that is, but they don't like the word payments. They specifically do not use the word payments. So we want to make sure that our bot is mirroring that language. We don't want it to use the word payment or payments. So we will do that, and then the bot will automatically start to use different words or synonyms for that. So again, we prompted that bot in particular to use the word installments over payments, and then we also just made sure that these words were in there as not allowed words for responses. So those are your basic settings for the bot. Again, once you get that set up, I encourage saving before you go to any new thing. It should prompt you to save, but just get in the habit of as soon as you add information, especially when you're prompting, to just go ahead and save. So that way it saves that information before you go anywhere else. The worst thing to happen is you prompt the bot, you get it all fine-tuned and tweaked, and you forget to save, and you close the tab, close your browser, shut down your computer, internet goes out, something, and it just doesn't get saved. It's very frustrating to have to go back and fine-tune it again. So just save, save, save. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in another video.